Okay, so let's go to do our work cycle. So first thing first, to understand the methodology, because I know that my 4 legs needs to go forward and backward and do the step, instead of starting by pausing one of them and not knowing which one is going when and where, I will just animate the 4 of them together. So the first thing that I do, I just take my controllers here, my front leg, and I will just stretch them forward, okay? Usually you want them to go under the head, usually, more or less. It depends on the design of the character, of course, okay? So let's go here. And after I take the back legs, and I stretch them forward as well, okay? The thing is that I want to do them separately, the back legs and the front legs, because I don't know how is the rig at the origin, because if we look at my character here, for example, we can see that the hips are here, the torso, and my legs are a little bit too much behind, where in the hips here, the legs are perfectly under. So what I do, as I put them differently, I just make sure that both of them are almost at the extreme. Remember that the back legs never straight, okay? And only in very extreme occasions, okay? So now I will try to have something a little bit round, like 2, for example, because I had 1.1. It looks like a little bit too much, so I will go to maybe 1.8. Okay, I prefer a little bit this, okay? So once I'm here, I take the front leg, the back leg, sorry, I will do the same. I will go for, let's say 1.2, okay? So now, I take my 4 legs. I know that my step will be fixed in 16 frames, so in 16 frame, my leg will go backward. So I tense them, and at the end they need to go forward, sorry. So what I will do, I will just come here, and by pressing the middle drive button, middle mouse button, I can come here, and just by pressing S, we'll just copy my animation. So if we have a look in the graph editor, as I'm dragging here, by pressing S, look at the keys appearing. Boom. Okay? And now if I'm looking at here, I have my work cycle. Perfect. Okay? Boom and boom. So now what I want to do, I want to take all my controllers and put a key at 0, a key at 16, and a key at 32. Very important, be sure that in your preferences in animation, you are in key all attributes and not key modified. This is very important, okay? So, now you're telling me, yeah, but my legs are sliding everywhere, I have no clue when it's forward, backward, when it's lifting. Simple. Let's take the 4 legs, here, and I'm just going to lift them, because I know that when they're moving forward, they are lifting, and I will just rotate them a little bit, okay? And so now we have this. Perfect. Okay. So now that I have this, let's start first thing first. I want my back legs first to be offsetted from the front leg. Okay. So what we'll do here, I will go in 64 frames to be able to see the animation in loop. Okay. So I will choose all my controllers here. I will go in my graph editor, and if you look here, we have pre-infinity cycle with offset, without offset, and here with offset. So at the moment I will ask all of them, we can see the finite, to cycle. Okay, so it's working. Perfect. So now they keep going. Perfect. So now what I want is that when my front leg here start to live, I would like my back legs to arrive at that moment. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I will just take my back keys and I will just offset them to start at 0, will be at 20. Okay, so if I just take this and move it at 20, now I have my work cycle. You can see it looks like I have my offset. It looks like a run cycle. I do it here, but I can do it through the graph editor. It's exactly the same. Okay, so I could take my keys here going at 20 and say, okay guys, now I want you to start at 20. Or I can say I want you to finish at 20. It's exactly the same. The only thing is that I want to stay in positive. Okay, so here my animation starts at 20. Or what we can do is I'm here and I just go in timeline and I do my mathematic. Plus égal equal 20. And here it is. Okay, there is many ways to do this result, but at the end the more important is that it's there. Okay, so now that we have this, I know that I want my legs here to be the opposite of the other one. So if I do one by one, I want this one to be the opposite of the other one. So let's do it through the graph editor, okay? So on 20, I want this extreme. When I look at my keys, I have one extreme here. I want to be at this extreme, this one, I want it to be at 20. So what I will do, I will just grab this, and I will just offset it to be at 20. And you can see the legs sliding backward in time, okay? And now when I look, it works. Perfect. Now let's do it with the front leg. I want at 16, I want this foot at 16 to be forward and not backward. No, sorry. I want the red one, sorry. I want the red one to be forward and not backward. So what I'll do, I just take the curve, I just slide it forward in time. And now, you can see here, I have my walk cycle. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect. So what should I do now? Well, very simple. Let's start to add a little bit of weight first, like I explained. So what I want now, that I have my cycle here, I would like my foot here to wait a little bit before sliding, before leaving, sorry, because I want to have the time to transfer the weight, okay? So if we play it now, okay, we can see there is no weight at the moment. So if I come in here, it's landing at 20, I say, hey, I would like you to land maybe 2 frames before. The problem is that if I'm moving this one, the animation of this foot is starting at 18 and finishing at 52, which is not 32 frames like the others, because I need to finish this one 2 frames before. Okay, again, I can do it through the graph editor or whatever. Okay, and now what's happening is that as it's lifting here at the same timing than this one, I say, hey, I would like you to leave maybe 2 frames after. And here it is. Now we start to have a little bit of weight. Okay, and I would just do exactly the same with the other foot. I say, you, when you're landing, I want you to land 2 frames before. Boom, boom. And I have to do the same at the end. 1, 2. As he's leaving, I say, can you wait just a little bit? So I will just move it 2 frames more. And now, you can see I have the time to transfer the weight now. Okay, which is great, is that now I have 4 frames with the feet in the floor in contact. Okay, perfect. Now let's do the same with this foot. As it's landing, I want him to land 2 frames before, and at the end I do 2. And here I want him to land, to start 2 weeks too late, 2 frames after. Boom, perfect. So I go on this one, I will do exactly the same. I say, hey you, I would like you to land 2 frames before, but I'm kind of limited, so let's do it through the graph editor, because I'm at 0. I just do 1, 2, and after, I'll just do the same with this. I say 1, 2, and this one, I know because I want my foot in the air to be shorter, 1, 2, and that's it. And now, I have my weight, okay? Maybe it was a little bit too much, okay? In the worst case, we can always change it. It doesn't matter. We can do this a little bit later, okay? So now that we did the feet more or less, let's try to work a little bit on the hips, okay? So as I have my contact here, as I have my contact on the back legs, I know that this foot starts at 2, and this one starts at 18, okay? So what I will do, I will just take one foot like this one, and I will try to do the animation from 2 to 35, okay? So what I will do is that here, I want the hips to be more open here. Oops. Before starting, I will need to offset it, 1, 2, to be from 2 to 35, 40, 34, and I will change the rotation order. Okay, if you don't have the option, it doesn't matter. It's just that for me at the moment we can see that X depend of Z depend of Y. The problem is that I won't animate the Z, so I want the Z to depend of the X depend of the Y. So I go here, I do Z depend of the X depend of the Y, and I will just delete the animation to be sure that I don't have any more keys on it, and you can see it's not red anymore. And after I press S to be sure that the key come back. So now I will just open the hips a little bit. Okay, let's go to -5. So if I -5 here, well, it's simple, it's just the opposite, so I go at 5, and here I go to -5. Okay, and now you can see I have my animation for the hips. Okay, and which is good is that if we look here, boom, we have the hips starting to move before the feet, almost like if the hips is driving the feet, which is pretty cool. Okay, and give a nice effect of weight. Okay, so I know as well that when I'm here, because before my leg was in the air, I know that my hips, the higher, is the one with the back leg. So I will just rotate it like this. Let's go to -5 again. Okay, so what's happening is that 4 frame after, which is pose coming after contact, down, and on the down what do we have? We have the change. So now I can go to 5, for example, and now we can see I have like boom, you can see the weight, how it's doing, perfect, boom. And what I will do is here I want it to be 5 still, because I still have the weight on the back leg, because this one is just landing, this is just landing forward, and 4 frame after I have the change of weight. So now I can go back to -5, to the opposite, and the -5 I will just copy it here. Okay, and now look, boom, 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 I have the change of weight. Okay, I don't know why I have animation on this. Actually I don't. Okay, so boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now we did the rotations, let's do the translations. So I know that my body is in contact position, which means that 4 frame after my body is going down, 4 frame after is in passing position, so it starts to go up, 4 frame after it's on the upper position, and 4 frame after it's on the down. Okay, so we have the, I look at my graph editor, as it's something that repeats every step, I don't need it to be repeated for the other step. I just need to do it once. I just clean my curves. Okay, can maybe go a bit lower, not so much higher, a little bit more here. Okay, and so now, and I have, look, I already start to have the weight of my legs. Okay, so now I know that when I'm lifting the leg, when I'm on the passing position, so frame 10 here, when the leg is passing through, I know that I want my weight to go on the side. Okay, as it's passing good, and after on the next passing position, which is 26, I want the leg to go on this side. Okay, so after what I do, I just open my graph editor, I come in the translation, and here I can see I'm at close of 0.1. So here I will go to -0.1. I say everyone be on automatic, please, and I just correct them. I check all my curves, good. No animation in X, perfect. My rotation here -5 and -5, perfect. And here 5, -5, perfect. And here no animation. Okay, so it's perfect. And if I look at my animation of the hips now, it's all done. If I look, I have the 8. Boom, boom. Okay, and you're telling me, well, maybe the hips are a bit too low. I say, okay, no problem. What I can do, as my work cycle is coming here, I can say, hey, I would like you to be just a little bit higher. Okay, so now the hips are a bit higher, or maybe more lower. Okay, so you can fix this a little bit after, and you say, oh, it's going a little bit too much low, or it's going a little bit too much high. And here we have less up and down. Okay, I kind of like it the way it is at the moment. So now if we look from the back, I say maybe it could go just a little bit more on the side to side. So I would just do this to see a little bit how it looks like. Maybe it's too much. I will keep what I had at the moment. Okay, and again, which is good is that I can come back to this whenever I want. Okay, so now I will do the front legs, and it's exactly the same. I take one of my foot, so because I have one foot who haven't been overlapped, I would just keep this as a reference. So I would use this one. Wait. This one starts at 14. Okay, let's start this one as 14 then. So I will just take all this and I will hopla. And we start at 14. Okay, to be in sync. So like here, I know I have my contact. So what I do, I open my chest here. And as my back is at 5, I will use exactly the same numbers. So it's very easy. 5, and then here, -5. Still again, my body is taking the weight. So here, as I have the weight on my back leg, I will go to -5 again. Okay? But the thing is that, because it's a cat, it depends on the animals, but because it's a cat, a lot of the weight is taken in the scapula and less in the torso. So I will go maybe a little bit less, maybe I will go to -3. Okay? So 4 frames after, I have the down position, and here I go to 3. I keep here the 3. Then after I have the down position here, so I go to -3, and here I go to -3. Okay? Because if you look at it, here I'm shifting my weight. I'm taking my weight to remove this leg. So naturally I change. But all this time the leg is still in the air, so the weight is still on this part of the body. So I keep the same. And after the contact, boom, I change the weight again. And after I leave the back leg, this leg who was back. Okay? Still the same. Now let's go on side to side. So if I go 4 frames after, I know it's the passing position. So I just put it a little bit on the left, on the side. Okay? So maybe this one I will go a little bit less. Okay? Then after I go on the other passing position, I have 34, so 38. And I say I want you to be at 0.05. Okay? If I go in my graph editor, and I check my rotation, my translation in Z. Perfect. Oops, sorry. Just do this, and just do that, and just do that. Okay? So now I have my rotation, and I have my rotation in Y done, rotation in X done, and I have my translation in Z done. Is there anything in there? Is there anything missing? Yeah, the up and down. Okay? And I know that the up and down of the torso forward of the torso is less than the back one. So after is the back is the down, so I have a little bit of down. After is the passing, which is a little bit higher. After I have the up position, and after I have the contact who goes back to normal. So I go again to my graph editor, I just look at my up and down, and I realize I don't need this, because just one is more than enough for me. And I just play with my curves. Okay? Like this. And I say like, maybe I want the up to be a little bit less up, to be a little bit more like the yin and the yang to be equal, the down and the up. Okay? And now I look, and I have my walk cycle. Okay? And you can see I have the weight, I have everything I need. Okay? So now, what I will do is that I will take this leg, this scapula, and I will sync it to this leg. Okay? So this leg starts at -2. Okay? This is our ugly duckling. Okay? But as I don't want anything in minus, I say, hey, what the hell? Let's move all of this a little bit more in time, maybe 32 later, to have the first frame to be here at 30. You can see it's the same, so I just offset everything, okay, to have everything in positive. And what I will do is, at this one is starting at 30, I will just ask my animation of the scapula to start at 30 as well. And so when I will animate this foot and this scapula, I will animate from 30 to 62. Okay? So now here I want my scapula to be forward and down, which is all good. And what I will do, I will start to animate also these controllers, and I want all of them as well. I want all of them to start at 30 as well. Okay? So I will say, you, I want you to be more like this. Okay? And you, I want you to be a bit forward like this. Yeah, perfect. Okay? I would just, by sliding with the middle button, I would just put it here to be sure I have the same animation. Okay? On the down position, the weight is coming on the scapula, so I would just raise it a little bit. Okay? So here on the position that I have in X, let's put it at 1 to see how it goes. Yeah, that's okay. Actually, I prefer on 0 and 74. And this one, let's try to see how it goes. If I go at 5, that's okay. So now here, I will try to go up. Let's try 0.2. That seems good. Seems good to me. Okay, perfect. So it goes to 0.2, and it should start to go backward now. And this is what it's doing, so it's perfect. And start to go backward a little bit before. Okay, so I have a round number, perfect. As I'm passing on the passing position, I still want my scapula to be up. So I will just be sure that I still have the same amount of weight. Boom. Okay. So now I keep the scapula up. Okay. As it's going there in the upper position of the other one, I still want it to be up. 0.2. Okay. And as it's coming here, I want it to be back and still have the weight on it. Okay. I still want him to be 2, and maybe here I will go at 25. Okay. And so when we look at the animation, it feels that the scapula is going up maybe a tiny bit too much. So what I will do, I will just go in my graph editor and say, hey man, you went a little bit too far. So I will do, I will just put it down here. Okay, around here. So 0.1. Okay. Now it's a little bit more subtle. I like it. Perfect. So now, as I'm going in the down, I'm removing the weight on it, so the scapula is going down, and I will start to move it forward because I want the scapula to pull the foot forward. Sorry. So I was on 46. Sorry, it should be at 50. So down and moving forward at the same time. Maybe I can push it a little bit more. Okay, let's go at 40. And let's go at 0 actually to see how it goes. Maybe I can go a bit lower. Let's go at minus 0.1. And I keep it. And as I'm coming here, I will put it at 0.1 and minus 0.1. Don't like it so much. It was at 0.5, okay, so here I will go at 0.5 then. Just copy it here. Oops, sorry. Take this one, I will copy it here. Yeah, I don't like it. I will go down. Let's go down. That's cool. And I go 0.1. Okay? And as it's coming here, you can see the cycle is working. Boom. Boom. Okay? That's perfect. So let's look at this part of the foot. Okay? As it's coming here, it's taking the weight. So at 34, the foot should really rotate down to take the weight. And what it does, if you look at the front arm, the arm almost stays straight because it's taking the weight. Boom. You can see boom. And I would like him to keep it. So I'm at 45. I just want him to keep it here at 45 again. And here, I would like it to keep it at 45. Okay? Maybe it was a little bit too much. So let's try a minute less. Let's try 30. Okay, and here it is. Boom, the weight. And now I start to push with my foot until this position. I can try to keep the arm a little bit straight. Let's put it at 5. And here, I just would like this foot to kick off the floor. So I just make disappear everything but the polygon and the nerves. I don't want to see the bones, for example. As I'm pushing off here, I'm on the down, I keep it. Here, I would say I would like you to go more this way. And maybe I can play a bit more with this controller, like this, for example. Okay, and here, I would like the foot to be a bit higher. And this, maybe to kick it a bit more. Okay, if it goes a little bit through the floor, it doesn't matter because naturally the claws are going into the floor. So, okay, so I will just put them a little bit less, maybe a little bit more like this. Boom. Okay, and as I'm coming here, I would like a few frames before, I would like them to be more like this and have the foot a little bit like this. And so to have naturally, boom, I would like them to stretch a little bit quicker and have this and boom. I will just play with this now. Boom, and I just straight it here. I would just copy the pose here. Okay, I went a little bit too much here, but you get the idea. Okay, and maybe this, I can maybe move this key like one frame before, and this one to play with the rotation a little bit before. Okay, so if I look at my rotations, I say this one was maybe a little bit too much, so I would just move it one frame less, and I don't need this key, for example, to keep a little bit cleaner. Okay, okay, and I kind of like the feeling it has. Boom, boom. Okay, so I just check on my graph editor if they are cycled. Yeah, perfect. Everything seems fine. I just need to clean a little bit the arcs here, the tangent. Okay, seems all good for me. Okay, and I'm like, hey, you know what, I love this animation I did on the foot, I would love to copy it for the other one, but I'm too lazy to do it again, so hey, let's just copy it. So I choose the good one first, then after I go in the graph editor and I say, hey, do you have animation here? No. Here you have one, perfect. So let's go here and select this curve. I would like the same here. So what I will do, I would just choose the first curve, do a copy, and after I've chosen the second one, and I just passed. Okay? So I come here and I just say passed. Okay? And if I look at it, now it's in the wrong timing. I don't know why. Wait. Oh, I think because I didn't offset it. Yeah, look, this one starts at 14 and finish at 46, and this one's, they are still at 0. They all have to start at 14. Sorry. Like the foot. Okay, the foot is starting at 14. So what I'll do now, I will check this one and this one. I go in the graph editor. I look at this curve. I say, hey man, I like how you look like, and I will just pass you. Okay. Oops, I've choose more than one curve. Sorry. So I would just take this one, and you have to be sure that the red mark is on the first frame, and I just passed it. Okay, and my animation is done. Now I would just take this one and this one. I go here, I take the Z rotations, I say you, I want you, and I want you. Okay? And if we look at the feet now, boom, it's all good. So I'm doing exactly the same thing. Okay? Now I can do exactly the same with this foot. As this, I have worked a little bit more on this one than on this one. I just open it and I look at, for example, the translation in X, in Y, sorry. I can see this one is more complex. This is my curve, but I'm not sure which one it is. If I choose it, look, you can see here the small square. It tells you which one it is, and because I choose the first one to be the one I want, no problem. I go here, I just copy it, and I take this one who starts here exactly, and I do past, and that's it. Okay, that's done. So now let's look the other curves. Are they different? Yeah, this one has an animation that the other doesn't. Boom, done. Okay. Now, which one has as well? Oh, why do I have this? 62, 30. Oh, this has nothing to do here. I don't know why. Translate. That's perfect. I have it already. Perfect. I have everything I need. So now when I look at my animations, they should be exactly the same. And now I will just do exactly the same with my scapula. I choose the first one, after I choose the second one. And I'm here. I say, okay. So you could be a little bit better here actually. And here, you could be a little bit better as well. Perfect. Okay. So I choose my Y and my Y. Same, I choose this one, I say copy, and after I need to be at the first frame of this one, and boom, passed. I choose the X, choose this one, I say copy, and I choose this one, I say passed. Okay? There is no translation in Z. And now, if I look at it, I have my change of weight here. Okay? You can see the scapula, and my feet are done. Okay, and my back is moving more than my front. I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, and again, if I want on the contact of my front leg, the contact, these legs are on the upper position. I don't want upper position, so I choose all of them. I say, hey, you guys. I open the graph editor. I just look at what's happening. I don't want you to be on the upper position. I would like you to be on the passing position, for example. I just slide and up, they're on the passing position, and look now. Okay? And I look again at the contact, boom. I say, you know what, I don't want you to be in passing position. I want you to be in the down position. So just before the foot leave. And now, Look how I have set the animation. Okay? Now it looks like a little bit more like our references. Okay? So you can play the way that you want. Okay? I will try to do just 1, 2, 3, 4. I would like this foot to land at that moment. So I will just play with boom, landing at that moment. Perfect. Okay, I will just keep it like this for the moment. Okay? So now for the head, I wouldn't bother too much for the moment. Okay? Because most of the time the head is independent, but what I will do, I will just take this, because this is influencing this one. So this one starts at 14, so I will do the head starting at 14. Okay? Starting at 14. Perfect. And I will just make it dependent. So when I'm in the contact, it's all good. I know that my body is falling. As I'm falling, I just want my head to go down as well, a little bit. Just a little bit. And I will just rotate it a little bit upward. Boom. You can see the head taking the weight. As the back part is going up, I want the head to keep going down a little bit, because it's a little bit late. And as it's doing this, I will have a small rotation in the head. Okay? As it's going up, I would like the head start to go up and rotate just a little bit. Okay? This is what I have. Boom. And here, on the contact position, the head to be still going up and rotating a little bit. And I will just copy this key here, and as every of my feet are the same, my step forward, I will have this. Boom. Maybe it's a little bit too much. On the upper position, it's a little bit too much. I would just reduce a little bit the rotation and copy it again here. Okay, and here's my animation. Okay. Okay, and here the parameter I can see that my head is not following. No problem, I will just make it follow. As I'm going on this side, I want you to go a little bit on that side to have a bit on that side. Perfect. And as I'm going 0, as I'm going the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I want you to go on this side. Okay? So after I can open my graph editor and look at my translation in Z. Okay, and of course it doesn't cycle. So what I need is just 4 frame later, 38, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here I have my contact pose. So I want my head to be again at middle. Okay, so like I can see, I'm going more on one side than the other. So I would just say like you, I want you to be at -0.1, and I say you want at 0.1. Okay, and I just put this here, put this here, put this here. Okay, and so now when I look at my animation, okay, I have this kind of movement. Okay, it's a little bit, maybe a little bit too much. Can see like, yeah, the movement on the side is a little bit too much. So I would just take this and I would say I want you to be twice less. So I would just divide equal to in the value. Here's the value, enter a value, and here is the select key times, and I divide it by 2. Okay, and again I would just clean the curves. Okay, and if I look at here, I prefer it's a little bit less. Okay, and here it is. Okay, of course you can turn it down and change it a little bit the way you want. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, actually maybe the head should be here. You know what, let's give it a shot. I will just reverse them. I say, hey you guys, I will multiply u equal -1. Boom. Just need to clean the curves again, the manipulators. Let's see how it looks like from the top. Yeah, it doesn't feel right. Okay, so let's see. When it's going there, I would like the head to be more on the other side. So yeah, I think it was the wrong thing to do. Let's look at the graph editor. I want you to go back to what I had before. So maybe it needs a little offset. Here it should already start to go on the side, but it's not. I don't know why. Here I would like the head to be on the side. So let's see my curve. Maybe I should need it 1, 2. Let's do before. Let's try 1, 2 more before. Okay, it's not before I need it, it's later. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? Now it's working much better. Okay? Now I have a movement which pleases me a little bit more. Okay? Now that I start to have my movement, I could animate the tail, but let's do something very rough. Okay? So I just try to move it like here, because the tail is moving with the back. So it starts at 6, so I will just take my controllers and just make them start at 6. Okay? And here I will just make it take a shape. Okay? So I will just I will make you move here and maybe curl you a little bit at the end. For example, let's take this shape, okay? For example. Okay, so I'm taking this shape. I would just apply it here, S. And I would just apply it here, S. Okay, so now I have this. So what I want, I just want to react to it. So if I go down, what I will do, I will just make it a little bit up. As it's going up, I will just make it go down. Just overlap. As it's going more up, I will just make it more down. As it's going up here, I will just make it go up. Wait, I did something wrong. Yeah, sorry. This should have been here. This here. And this here. And here. And here nothing. Okay, and the back don't need the after because it's something that cycle. So this one should be the same than this one. I will just animate this. Aha. Start at 6. I don't need the last one. And this one to be here. I will just copy it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just make it here like this. So it's going and here a bit more up. And here it will keep going. Just do this S. And do this S. This one is a little bit the same. Okay, it's not that great, but hey, let's try to give it a shot for first. I will just offset it. 1, 2. Let's see. Let's offset it one more. Okay, anyway, I could spend hours on this, but the tail is a detail. Okay, so now that we've seen a little bit the animation for our creature, okay, so what I will do, I want just to make it developed now. Okay, so what I will do, first of all, I will save it. I don't want it to crash just in case, even if it doesn't take a lot of time to do this.